I've been spending a lot of time on different Disneyland Facebook groups, and I've noticed that there's a lot of people out there who are either making their very first trip and want to make sure it's special, or they're taking their kids for the first time, or they live somewhere really far away and don't get to go to Disneyland that often, and they want as much help as they can get. This video was made with you guys in mind. Now, there's going to be a bunch of tips that I'm going to be giving on how to make the most out of your day at Disneyland. So if you're someone who is local and goes all the time, feel free to leave your own tips and comments down below. But for now, let's watch. Hey everybody, welcome to the Dano channel. I am Dano, and guess where I'm at? Disneyland yet once again. Today I want to talk to you guys about strategy. Last video I did, we were talking about my very first real trip to Disneyland, and it was about 15 years ago, back in 2000. Since then I've come quite a few times, and I've actually developed a strategy to make the most out of my day. You see all those people lining up there? It is actually about 20 minutes before the park is open. The way I start my day is usually getting here hopefully an hour before the park opens. If I can get here an hour before the park opens, line up like all these crazy people and be ready, it means that I can get to the attractions that fill up quickly a lot faster. So in fact, our game plan today is basically to head to the mountains. Always head to the mountains first thing in the morning. And so we're gonna go to the Matterhorn, get that over with real quick. If we can, maybe grab a fast pass for Space Mountain, hang out in the area, do something around there. But the thing is that completely changes if there's a magic morning going on at that park. If there is, that means Tomorrowland and Fantasyland are gonna be full of people who are resort guests or people with park hoppers that have that extra magic morning. And that completely throws off anything. Now, luckily back here in California Adventure, that's their magic morning today. So Disneyland will be opening at 8 o'clock. So we got here again about 35-40 minutes before park opening so we could line up. Now don't be scared by all those people lined up there, because those lines usually split into two and it seems to dissipate really quickly. So just kind of hop in one, let it fill out, and everything will be fine with that. Now guys, it's actually a few minutes before the park's officially open. It's about 10-15 minutes beforehand. They let us into Main Street and they let us queue up right around the hub area. And that's usually where, if it is a magic morning, you can tell that Fantasyland, Tomorrowland are really packed by then. But today it's not, so we'll be hanging out at the rope drop. We're gonna head over, kind of hit those big mountains first, get that big stuff done and out of the way. Now a different game plan you can use involves using all the dark rides first thing, but because right now Peter Pan is closed, we decided to go with the mountains, because usually that's what we'll end up doing, is going to Peter Pan first thing in the morning, getting that done with, because that ride just fills up quicker than any of the other ones, and personally it's not really worth the wait to me. But once it's done, you can usually jump on all the other ones like Alice in Wonderland, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, Snow White, Pinocchio, all those good ones. Have anything to say?
I don't know.
All right, perfect. Now, one good hint if you're new to the whole Fast Pass system and you have like a big group of people is split up for just a second while someone's on, waiting in line for one thing. Go ahead and send the other person with everyone's tickets to get Fast Passes for the other ride. Now, we were actually just headed to Nemo's submarine ride, but a lot of times things don't go as planned. And in fact, in this case, it ended up being closed. But luckily, Autopia is open. So you kind of have to be ready to go with the plan B just in case. I'm on one of the scariest rides in all of Disneyland. Autopia with this little guy driving. Oh no, no. What have I done to deserve this? So Press, were you scared?
No.
Not as scared as I was. Another tip, if you guys have kids who are little and want to go on all the Toontown rides, Toontown opens up usually an hour after park opening. If you've already done a couple of Fantasyland rides, it's best to get here right when Toontown opens so you can get some of those longer waits like Roger Rabbit or even Gadget's Go Coaster that you may not want to wait more than 15 minutes for and get them done. Plus, you get to see this guy. Hi, Mickey. Now another good perk of getting to Toontown so early is that you get to meet all those characters with pretty much no wait. I mean, there's Goofy hanging out right there by himself. how often does that ever happen?
Don't just stand there. Mail something.
All right, so now we're about an hour and 45 minutes into the morning. We've gotten a lot of stuff done on the east side of the park, and we pretty much remained there. So usually around this time it starts to fill in a little bit more. We're gonna try to get a couple more big things done. We're heading over towards Big Thunder, or if you have another one of those big attractions in mind, try to get that one done then, because once it starts to fill up and people show up, it gets really busy, and a lot of those things are really hard to wait for. Now, as we're making our way over to the western side of the park, there's a lot of stuff here in Fantasyland that we haven't done or you may not have done on your trip. And sometimes the little ones, they either have a short attention span and forget what they were headed towards and want to ride something else. And that's okay. That's actually okay to stop and do maybe one or two of those. You still have time to hit the other side of the park before it gets too crazy. Now we've got here to Big Thunder, and the wait's actually 25 minutes, but that fast pass time is going to be at 10:40, which is in a little less than an hour. So we're actually going to take advantage of it because it's such a short wait time. We're going to grab that fast pass, go grab a snack, come back in a little bit once we've had something in our bellies, and then we can actually enjoy the ride. So make sure to use that fast pass. It's a really big part of getting the most done. Well, guys, you may have noticed behind me, I am in a different park. That is because it is about 1:30. Normally, I wouldn't suggest staying at the one park for that long. In fact, my game plan usually has me out of there by 11 or noon, depending on how busy it gets, because as you can see, it fills up full of people. So at this point, I would say either take a break, go back to the hotel room if you're visiting, maybe go to the pool, swim around, do something and relax. Don't overdo it. But if you do decide to go to another theme park like I'm doing here at California Adventure, I would definitely say the only game plan is use Fast Pass, because all bets are off once that midday rush hits. Guys, I hope you like watching this video, and I hope these hints have been helpful and useful to you. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, hit that big red subscribe button. I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.